Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So I didn't have a lot of time this week to put together a real-time drawing video for you guys. I've been working on Inktober stuff, as you can see. So what I decided to do instead is a narrated speed draw, like I used to do when I first started this channel. I think this is gonna be interesting. I haven't done one of these in a very, very long time, but I have gotten a lot better about talking on camera, I think. And I also thought that this particular piece was actually going to be a good speed draw to narrate because I actually spent a lot of time on this piece learning things myself. I'll get into it more as we watch the speed draw, but from the start of this piece all the way to the end, I was trying and refining a lot of different art techniques that I don't usually use. I just wanted to sort of push my comfort zone a little bit. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. Let's go ahead and hop on over to the speed drawing and we can talk about it a little bit more over there. All right, so here is the starting sketch. I've been starting my sketches lately on Procreate, and as you can see on this one, I didn't even finish it, actually. It took me quite a few tries to even get an idea for what I was trying to do. The reason that I'm doing this on Procreate is because I've been having a lot of trouble just sitting down in front of my computer and working on pieces because my environment doesn't change. So I've been getting into the habit instead of starting pieces in Procreate, which is of course on my iPad so that I can take it anywhere with me and kind of get a little bit of an environment change. And I find that that really helps to combat burnout. If I'm in a different place, it feels like I'm not working on the same thing all the time. And I find that it helps me relax a little bit and just start sketches when I want to instead of when I have to. Now, this piece is of my OC Crane, my original character. She is an angel character. She's supposed to be very strong, so I had a couple tries here where I under-sketched the anatomy for the character. It took me a while to kind of figure out the position she was sitting in because I did want her to have kind of an upright alert position, but at the same time I wanted her to be sitting and kind of looking a little bit comfortable, even though she is still on alert here. She's not completely relaxed. That's essentially the posture that I wanted to put across there. And I was happy with this final pose. The only thing that I really struggled with is that bottom leg there. I couldn't quite get it to look the way I wanted it to. I sort of wanted to make it look like her legs were a little crossed in that relaxed position, but at the same time, I didn't know how to really make that look like that while still having the rest of the piece kind of cut off at the bottom. Starting in on the line art here, this is actually my first try something new. I'm working with extremely thin line art, and a lot of people will look at this and say that like it's not that thin, it's still pretty bold. For me, this is very thin. I was actually struggling a lot with this. And as you can see, I didn't edit out any of my pauses where I just had to like sit back and take a moment because this line art took me absolutely forever. I just wasn't used to drawing with like such thin lines and being so precise about it. And it kind of got to the point where because I was unused to this style, I was making weird mistakes that I wouldn't make otherwise. Like for example there, in my regular line art style, I would have a very easy time drawing that bun, but it took me a really long time with this line art style because I had to keep like erasing and rethinking everything just because I wasn't used to it. I do really like these hands though. That's actually one of my favorite parts of the drawing is the way that the hands are positioned. I do wish I had angled her wrist a little bit more so that her arm was resting more flat on the table that she's next to. But that's just something to keep in mind for next time. I will say this shirt really baffled me. I was trying to make it look like a thin, loose fabric. I definitely made it look way too tight, and that's something I'm not super happy about, but I think in the end I kind of fixed it with the shading. The end table here, I really wanted to freehand it. Didn't work. I ended up using the shift key to get those nice straight lines. And then the coloring is gonna be pretty standard. I didn't try anything new. I basically just did the same thing that I always do where I outline the character and then kind of fill in the color block. I did want to mention, by the way, that this took me 7 hours to draw, actually, in real time. And this is sped up 40 times from the original drawing. So this is just a 10-minute speed draw of a piece that originally took over 7 hours. That's something a little new that I did there, just in the iris. I usually don't put that little highlighted spot at the bottom, but I kind of wanted to try it because I wanted to make her eyes really stand out in this piece. I was thinking like yellows and pink tones for the whole piece, and so the blue I thought would really, really stand out against that. Here we are going in with the background. For the background, I kept it really, really simple. I just did some like color blocks to represent a window and like a little painting, a little detail there. Cause you know I'm gonna backlight this piece. I love playing with lighting and I love playing with backlighting specifically. So that's what I'm gonna do with this one. This is something that I have been doing on a lot of pieces recently, is actually coloring the line art. As well as the character itself. And what I do for that is I color it in the same color that the part of the character I'm drawing is. So if I'm coloring the line art for the hair, I'm gonna color it the same blonde color. And then I take a darker version of my shading color, so what I'm using to cell shade here right now, and I will clip that to the colored part of the line art, and it'll just make it like a really, really dark shadow looking kind of thing. So it's not as intense as the black, but it still shows up. You can still kind of see it. This part of the arm, the like underside of her left arm on the right side of the canvas, I was having a lot of trouble with that. I'm still not entirely sure how I could have made that better. Big pause here, dang. All right. But something about the muscular structure there, it just wasn't adding up. It still doesn't look quite right. I think I actually screwed something up in the line art. And then here we go with the shirt, where I don't really know what I was doing. The center part here, it kind of looks like there's a little bit of a scrunch there, and that's not what I intended. That's just kind of how it ended up. But I end up blending out the cell shading later so that we don't see that anymore. But yeah, just going in with this cell shading as I normally do. I actually had a lot of fun with the feathers on this. I tried something new that I don't usually do. I've tried something similar to it before, but see how I'm shading in the smaller feathers, like on the tops of the wings there? I really, really like how those turned out. That's one of my favorite parts of the piece. And then just defining all the primary and secondary feathers. And then this one's gonna take a lot of pauses because I was watching a friend on Twitch while I was drawing this, so I took some pauses to reply in the chat and then came back to the video. I wanted to leave these in here because I wanted you guys to see what the process is. Like how I'm working on these speed draws, how I'm doing this kind of thing. So I wanted to leave those pauses in to kind of show that like I don't just sit down and work for 7 hours straight. That would be insane and ridiculous. I have done it before, but it's not healthy. So I left these pauses in to show that I am taking little breaks. For this instance, it's just because I was replying to a friend on Twitch and joining the chat and whatnot. Which, by the way, I am also on Twitch. I stream every Tuesday and Friday, and I'm trying to start up streaming on Wednesdays as well. You can catch me live at twitch.tv/Threadwing. Search Threadwing on Twitch, same as it's spelled here, and you will find me. I usually do art on Tuesdays and gaming on Fridays. But yeah, going in with that backlighting there, I wanted to do a bit of a cast shadow from where the wing is like covering the arm a little bit. And something I didn't really think about until the end of the piece, but I do kind of regret not including, is doing like a bit of a cast shadow over the whole body where the wings are blocking the light from the window to cast over the rest of the body. So for example, on her right arm on the left side of the canvas, I would have liked to put just a little bit of a shadow right on her shoulder where the wing would be blocking the light from the window. I think that would have been a good touch that I forgot to add. With the feathers here, to kind of make the shading a little softer on them, I just started erasing bits of the shading and the highlighting to sort of mimic the feathery bits on a feather. And then going in with some soft shading here. I was really trying to figure out how I could fix the shading issue on the shirt. I was really not happy with that. And then I finally decided after I get all the soft shading done that I needed to go in and blend out the cell shading a little bit just to get it looking a little softer and get it flowing a little better. So that is what I'm doing here, is just blending out that cell shading, making everything just a little bit softer. And I think it really helped. I think it lent to the overall aesthetic of this piece. I wanted the lighting to be very soft, very ethereal almost. And it especially helped with the thin line art that I was talking about earlier. It made the whole thing feel a lot more cohesive. The thin line art and the soft shading and highlighting, it all just felt like it worked better together. If I were to do heavier line art, then I would have kept the cell shading because I think those things fit together a little little better, but with the soft line art, I'm definitely happy that I went with the soft shading as well. And then right here, we're doing my favorite. We are backlighting every part of the character that the window is behind. My favorite bit of this is I highlighted inside the ear so it looks like light is actually shining through the ear. Very, very proud of that. I love doing that. And then just finishing off with some highlights here. Yeah, that's the finished piece. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I did put a couple like overlay layers to make the character a little more pink and the background a little more yellow. And that's just to make her kind of stand out from the background a little bit. But yeah. There was a lot of experimenting going on in there. There was a lot of pushing the limits of what I was comfortable with, and I think it turned out pretty good. There's obviously a couple of things that I would do differently next time, but that is, of course, the whole point of doing this. I want to sort of develop my style to a point that I don't think I'll ever be happy with it, to be perfectly honest. I don't know anyone that is, or rather, I don't know anyone that isn't still trying to improve. And I think that's the beauty of art, is you will never stop learning. So I did want to try and showcase that here as best I could. Anyway, if you want to see this piece in full, it is being posted to my Instagram right now, the exact same time this video comes out. I also have a TikTok where I post speed draws and kind of fun little videos every now and then. Like I mentioned earlier, I also stream on Twitch, and if you really want to support this channel, you can also find me on Patreon. I have several tiers listed there. You could support me for as little as $1 a month, and you get exclusive content for as little as $3 a month. All those socials, of course, are under Threadwing. And then, of course, last but not least, I have finally released my art stickers. You guys can get them in my Ko-Fi right now. That's ko-fi.com/threadwing/shop, or just ko-fi.com/threadwing if you want to take a look at my profile there. But these are my sushi mermaids from Mermay. I am super, super excited about them. We've already gotten so many orders of a lot of people that just really wanted to be supportive and really want to check them out. So I hope you can find the time to check those out as well. I think they turned out super, super cool. They are $5 each on my Ko-Fi, or for $25, you get the whole bundle of 7. So that is 7 stickers for the price of 5. I promise I'll stop with the advertising soon. I'm very, very excited about these stickers, and I want people to know about them because I've always wanted to sell art stickers. So it's a big step in my career, and I really, really appreciate all the love and support I've gotten so far on them. So yeah. Hope you enjoyed this video. I will be back next week with a little bit of a different video. It's going to be an introduction to our October content. Anyway, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you can find your way back here for next week's video. I will see you all then. Until then, have a wonderful rest of your week, okay? I love you all. Bye!